president. Elvis Presley was shocking the nation. But in the small, quiet town of West Blockton, the sounds of Tiger football could be heard. This 1957 Tiger team compiled a record of 10-0 to win the state championship, an accomplishment that has yet to be matched by any other Tiger team since that time. 4 of these seniors went to receive scholarships to play for the University of Alabama. But now, the year is 1992. Bill Clinton is elected president, and rock stars like Madonna still shock the nation. But West Blockton is still a quiet, peaceful town. This 1992 Tiger team has compelled a 9-0 record, and with a win tonight, can go on to be 10-0.
Week's game. Heart-stopping game, I suppose, is the best way to do it. West Blockton defeated Carrollton by a score of 24-18 in the last 3 seconds of the ball game. West Blockton accumulated 15 first downs, Carrollton 13. West Blockton lost 1 of 5 fumbles, Carrollton 1 of 2. West Blockton was penalized 4 times for 40 yards, Carrollton 5 times for 35 yards. West Blockton punted the ball 4 times for an average of 29 yards, Carrollton once for 35 yards. West Blockton rushed last week 366 yards to Carrollton's 272. 0 passing yardages last week for West Blockton against Carrollton's 95. Total offensive stats for the two teams: West Blockton 366, Carrollton 367. West Blockton attempted 6 passes, completed none of them, and had 1 interception. Carrollton completed 5 of 12 passes with no interceptions. Joel, West Blockton was honored this week as Channel 6 WBRC's Team of the Week. A crew from that department of the news department at WBRC came to our school today and honored our team, and we congratulate them for that honor. And last week, Cornelius Ward, number 35, received the signal honor of being the Tuscaloosa News Offensive Player of the Week. Cornelius Ward accumulated 223 yards on 27 carries last week. West Blockton remains ranked 3rd in the state. What's y'all's rank?
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Tiger Football. As most of you are aware by now, the Tigers are 9-0, and we'd like to pause for a second and give you some names of people that have been really faithful in making sure that this program this year is ran smoothly. We have the names of people who prepared meals for the Tigers. Jerry and Barbara Beams. Miss Betty West cooked hot dogs for the team each away game. Chuck and Sedera Cottingham. Roy and Jean Green. Eddie Jones. Lambert and Carolyn Marchant. Butch and Judy Boyd. Kim and Pam Wright. Terry and Peggy Higginbotham. Henry and Rita Smith. Jerry and Joe Dearman. Mr. and Miss Dearman also prepared breakfast for the team each Saturday morning. The concession stand workers, the people we kind of take for granted a lot of times, people that have been here at every home game and hadn't seen a game because they're busy making sure everybody gets their Coke and popcorn and hot chocolate. But those people are Lois Taylor, Roy Green, Joan Green, Kim Wright, Pam Wright, Jerry Beams, Barbara Beams, Kelly Jackson, James Jackson, Mark Reach, Holly Wesley, and Melissa Nicolai, as well as Mr. Virgil Lolly. We'd like to thank all these very special people. Without these type of people, West Blockton Tiger football just could not function.
Captains this week for West Blockton, number 32, John Holt, Jr. Seniors, number 35, Cornelius Ward, and number 15, Terry Dearman. Joel, as our viewers witnessed in the pregame special of tonight's game, this might be history in the making as West Blockton attempts its first undefeated season in 36 years. We'll be joined after the halftime with one of those players in that 1956 state championship team, which went undefeated for West Blockton. A very familiar figure in West Blockton, and especially to the West Blockton High School family. We'll keep you in suspense for just a while as to who that particular person is.
David, it's a good turnout tonight considering how cold it is over here on the West Blockton side. A lot of people are hoping to see, as you said, history in the making here tonight. And the Tigers have hurdled a lot of obstacles so far this season. If they can get past this last one, then that'll be history.
Well, for the distance these folks have to travel, Pickens County has also brought a fair crowd over. So quite a distance from Pickens County, Reform, Alabama, to West Blockton.
They just tossed the coin. We'll wait and see what the results were. I'm ready to get this one underway.
Joe, you mentioned the concession stand workers. We appreciate the concession stand workers providing us with hot chocolate tonight. That hot chocolate is flowing freely in our concession stand tonight, as the weather has dropped considerably over past weeks.
David, there's a guy that's on the coaching staff on Pickens County over there that's a former Tiger. That's Coach Simpson. Pickens County won the toss and they declined, so West Blockton will be receiving the opening kickoff to our left. And the Tigers are lined up behind their sign, trying to tell what the sign says, David. Trample the tornadoes.
Pretty good guess. And that we hope we shall do tonight. Our West Blockton coaching staff is making their way to the sidelines. And here come the West Blockton Tigers. 9-0 on the season, hoping to make another win for a 10-0 perfect regular season.
David, this Tiger team is fired up. I had the opportunity to spend some time with them last night at Pizza Hut and today, and you can just see it in their eyes. They hear a lot of talk around town about next week's playoff game, but these guys seem to be very focused on what the task that lies ahead of them tonight.
Well, it will take that focused atmosphere on the West Blockton sideline tonight to make that perfect season.
David, some good news for West Blockton. Jason Beams is dressed out. He's got his ankle taped up pretty heavily, But Jason was one of the first ones out of that sign. He's ready to play some football. But on a bad note, number 36, Lorenzo Hudson, is gone for the season. Lorenzo broke his ankle and tore some ligaments, and he'll be going for surgery tomorrow morning. Dearman to kick for the Tigers. The ball is going to be fielded at the 15-yard line. He breaks through the initial seam, and he's going to bring it all the way out to about the 38-yard line. That's where we will begin this game, first down and 10 for the Tornadoes of Pickens County. David, this is by far the coldest game we've had this year.
Joel, I don't know if you remember last year in Pickens County in Reform how bitterly cold it was. I think it was a record cold night in our state. At least we're not to that degree.
Wide out split to the left and the right. There's the give off the right tackle. He's met immediately by number 64, Jason Grady, and dropped for a loss around the 35-yard line. Good defensive play from the senior lineman.
Bring up second down and 11.
The quarterback for Pickens County is number 10, Tarango Williams. I hope that's pronounced right, David.
Tarango.
Okay. There's a give off the right side. Number 32, he breaks some tackles. He brings it up to the 45-yard line before he's brought down by number 51, Michael Summerlin.
7-yard gain for Pickens County.
That's going to bring up a third down and a long 3 for the Tornadoes.
From their own 45.
Anthony Barnes split to the left. There's a give to the right side. He breaks in the open. He's at the 40. McElroy's the only man that can get him. And he is in for the touchdown for Pickens County. Number 12, Billy Joe Gotton. David, that makes 3 weeks in a row that the Tigers have trailed at the beginning of the game. But the Tigers, that's a good experience for the Tigers these last 2 weeks. That could pay off for them here tonight.
55-yard touchdown run for Pickens County as they post 6 points on the board.
Pickens County had some great blocking that time, David, and really opened up a nice hole for Billy Joe Guyton.
Number 10, Tarango Williams is back to kick extra point.
Kick is up, and he puts it over there at the pit stop. So with 10 minutes and 10 seconds left, the Tornadoes of Pickens County have jumped out to an early 7-0 lead over the Tigers of West Blockton. Number 22, Robert Snelson, back deep to field this kick. He's in the usual place of number 36, Lorenzo Hudson. We don't have a name for the kicker for Pickens County. That's number 6. He's not listed on our roster. We'll try to find out who that is. There's the kick. It's a low line drive. I believe we're going to have offsides against Pickens County. They'll bring it back and kick it over. Number 6, the kicker, is Bobby Cheeks. So here we go at our second try, this kick. Once again, Snelson back deep. This time it's a high kick that's going to be fielded by Snelson at the 10-yard line. They set up the wedge. He breaks one tackle, struggles forward and gets it all the way up to the 35-yard line. That's where West Blockton will take over. First down and 10.
Joe, we might mention also as we've mentioned injured players, that Chad Jones, who was injured with a broken leg at the Chelsea game, is on the sidelines for the first time since that game. Glad to see Chad Jones back among his teammates, among this family.
Blake's dropping back to pass. He's looking downfield for number 10, Davis. He's got him. He's open field, nobody around. Touchdown, West Blockton Tigers, but there is a flag on the play. Great pass, great catch from the Tigers, but there's a flag on the play. That may be James Davis. Referee sealing touchdown. Obviously, it's a defensive penalty. The play will stand.
That's a 65-yard pass completion from Blake to Davis.
David, I tell you, Shannon put it right in James's hand. He looked it in. Great concentration. And he was just left all by himself. That's the way to open up a ball game right there, David. Terry Dearman on for the point after attempt. Shannon Blake is the holder.
Joe, that touchdown is West Blockton's first complete pass in 3 games. Good that we start out afresh with such a successful.
There's the snap, the ball's placed down, and the kick is wide left. So with 9 minutes and 38 seconds left, Pickens County 7, West Blockton 6. Number 15, Dearman to kick off for the Tigers. Fielded, fumbled around, he picks it up. He's running to his left, he's looking for somewhere to go. He's got a seam, he's still on his feet, and he's finally be brought down. There's a fumble, but they ruled that he was down. Good return by number 12, Billy Joe Gotton. He's the one that had the touchdown on their opening drive. First down and 10 for the Tornadoes from the 48-yard line.
Well, Joe, there's a little excitement on the West Blockton sidelines. We thought that would be a turnover, but luck would not have it that way.
Barnes split to the left. Gotton goes in motion to the right. There's a give off the right guard, and he's swarmed immediately by the Tigers. I see number 39, Claude Bates, 51, Michael Summerlin, there to bring him down. There's a flag on the play. That was number 32, Treshawn Nevis. David, I hope I'm getting these names right. Treshawn Nevis, we're being told. Tyshawn.
Come on, Joe, get it together.
We're going to have a good time tonight, David. I think we'll stick with calling numbers. The penalty was against the Tornadoes. West Blockton declined it. It'll be second down and 10 for the Tornadoes. Williams is the quarterback. Barnes split to the near sideline. Quarterback's rolling out the pass. He's looking. And the ball is incomplete. Almost picked off over there. I think that's number 10, James Davis. Almost was able to scoop it up. Number 32, John Holt, did an excellent job of flushing the quarterback out of the pocket. Third down and 10 for the Tornadoes. Barnes split to the left, McGrin to the right. Williams drops back to pass, he's being rushed. And it's picked off by number 15, Dearman. Dearman hurdles one man. He's still on his feet. Dearman's still on his feet all the way up to the 40-yard line. Good play by the senior linebacker, number 15, Terry Dearman. David, Terry had a big part in that victory last week. Terry came in at fullback and was able to convert on some fourth downs for the Tigers, and was also responsible for a touchdown. Terry's just one of those consistent players on this Tiger team. Once again, Williams was being pressured heavily by number 32, John Holt. Ward is the lone setback. Blake's dropping back to pass again. And it's off the fingertips of the defender. The intended receiver was number 32, John Holt. Number 1, DeMarco Lark, there on the coverage. David, I think we have the same basic lineup this week for the Tigers with the exception of Lorenzo Hudson. Number 20, the senior, Stephen McElroy, is there in his place tonight.
Joel, I'm told that West Blockton has been working on that passing game, and that is evident as West Blockton has opened this ball game with 2 pass plays.
Blake keeps around left end. He gives a pitch to McElroy to the right side. He picks up a good block. He's at the 20, 15, 10, 5, and he goes out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Good run by number 20, McElroy. An excellent blocking over there by the Tigers. A good stop block downfield once again. David, that's something that the Tigers also worked a lot on this week was the stop block. And that's a result of the hard work right there.
38 yards for Stephen McElroy as he moves the ball ever so close to another West Blockton touchdown.
First down and goal from the Tigers from the Tornadoes' 2-yard line. Davis, McElroy are at the wing. Cornelius Ward is the fullback. Davis goes in motion to the left. There's to give to Spunky. Spunky's still pushing forward. Spunky may have gained a half a yard, maybe a yard. Can't tell where they're going to spot it yet.
Second and goal with just about 7.5 minutes left in this first period.
John Holt split to the left. Blake on the keeper, and they stack him up. He was denied once again. It'll be third down from the 1 for the Tigers. Good penetration from the Pickens County defensive line. There haven't been many times that play's failed to gain this year, David. Blake on the keeper, there's nobody there. Touchdown, West Blockton Tigers. Once again, that's excellent blocking on that right side. They just washed it down, and Blake just walked in for the touchdown. Good job of the West Blockton Tigers. Looks like the Tigers are going for 2. Would you run the same play, David?
Oh, you're so right.
Nobody was there, I'd look for it. Blake is the quarterback. There's a reverse to James Davis to the left side, and he's in for the 2 points. David, they made it look like they were going to run it and reverse it back to James around the left side. Good play calling by Coach Jager.
Well, indeed it is, and with 6 minutes and 45 seconds in the first period of action, West Blockton 14, Pickens County 7.
15, Dearman to kick once again. He'll be kicking deep to number 21, Anthony Barnes. There's the kick. It's going to be fielded at about the 25. It's fumbled once again. They're bobbling it around. They finally pick it up, and they're immediately swarmed by a host of Tigers. I see 24, Kerry Pringle, and number 10, James Davis, in on the tackle. First down and 10 for the Tornadoes from their own 25-yard line. Barnes split to the left. Williams is the quarterback. There's to give to 12 around the left side. He's going to be brought down just shy of the 30-yard line by number 63, Chris Parks, and number 32, John Holt. That's Billy Joe Guyton on the carry.
Picked up 4 yards on that carry, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 6 for Pickens County. Joe, we might mention especially tonight our sponsors who are enabling us to bring you this West Blockton television action. McKinney's Wrecker Service and Woodstock Drug Company are bringing you this first quarter of action.
The same play, and immediately the same result. He's stacked up. Number 63, Chris Parks, just laid the pass to him. That play lost about a yard. Good play there by the senior linebacker, Chris Parks. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 situation. David, if we can go to our human interest department real quick. You know, about a month ago you read a letter from Irby Jackson. Irby had been in basic training, and tonight Irby is back in West Blockton. He's here supporting his Tigers. And we'd like to say, on behalf of the rest of the TNT staff, welcome home, Irby.
Well, you're so right again.
Williams drops back to pass. He's being rushed. He gets the pass away. And it's incomplete. The intended receiver, I believe that's number 21, Anthony Barnes.
Joel Irby was a member of the 91 Tiger football team. Not much change in Irby from when he left. I guess he's more mature than when he left.
I don't think there's any change in Irby. If you're friends with Irby, he's going to be your friend. That's the kind of guy Irby is. He's a great guy to have as a friend.
Stephen McElroy back deep to receive the Pickens County punt.
Gets the punt away. It was almost blocked. McElroy calls for the fair catch at almost the 46-yard line. That's where West Blockton will have it. 1st down and 10. 1st down and 10 for West Blockton. The ball is on the 46-yard line. John Holtz at right tight end. Jason Beams back in the game at right tackle. I think Jeff Brown's at right guard. Matthew Martian at center. Blake drops back to pass. The same play they've opened up with both times. He's rolling around. He's looking for somewhere to go. He hits his receiver, James Davis, at about the 39-yard line. Good catch by number 10, the sophomore, James Davis. James also serves as a linebacker and as the backup quarterback on this Tiger team. And tonight, James doing something new.
That play will add 15 yards to the passing stats of this first quarter action.
That gives the Tigers a new set of downs, David. Tigers passing game looking pretty impressive thus far. Davis goes in motion to the left. Blake keeps around the left. Oh, good block from number 63. And Blake's met at the 30-yard line and brought down. David, I don't know if you saw or not, but Chris Parks just threw a great block. Great block. That's a highlight film block right there.
Well, Chris Parks is capable of all that and more. It's a gain of about 8 yards. West Blockton bringing up 2nd down and 2.
Number 39, Claude Bates, the senior, split to the right side. This is the senior's last regular season game as Tigers. Very important game for them as well as the rest of the team. Give up the middle. That gets enough for the 1st down. Spunky just plunged forward enough to pick up the 1st down and move the chains for the Tigers. The ball is on about the 27-yard line. On the left side of the Tiger line, number 63, Chris Parks at left guard. Number 65, Chad Wright at left tackle. Number 39, Claude Bates is the left end. Blake keeps around the left side again, and he's upended shy of the 20-yard line by number 32, Nevin. Second down and 4 for West Blockton. The ball is on about the 21-yard line. Tigers bunch in tight with 2 tight ends, 2 wings. Cornelius Ward is the lone setback. McElroy comes in motion. There's to give to Davis around the left side. He picks up a couple blocks. He's still on his feet. And James gets it all the way down to the 10-yard line. Good run by James Ford Davis.
Joe, that was a good run, a good 15-yard run for number 10, James Davis.
The ball is right on the 10-yard line. The Tigers will have to practically score, David, to get a first down. I think you may get to the inch line to get a first. There's to get a Spunky, and he just walks in the end zone. Touchdown, Cornelius Ward. David, that's been a familiar phrase all year. But we hope we've also been real frequent and giving credit to that offensive line, and you have to give them credit that time again. Whenever a fullback can walk into the end zone, that offensive line is doing something right. The Tigers are going for 2 again. Same look from West Blockton. 2 tight ends, 2 wings. There's to get a spunk. Behind John Holt, he scores with a 2-point conversion. John Holt just kept driving his man back, and Cornelius Ward just stayed right on John's back until he could get across the goal line.
Well, with 1 minute and 55 seconds left in the first quarter, West Blockton 22, Pickens County 7. Bringing you first quarter action once again, McKinney's Wrecker Service in West Blockton. We are appreciative of the McKinney family for their sponsorship throughout this season. And Woodstock Drug Company, owned by the Rooker family. The Woodstock Drug Company is located at the Y at Woodstock. We hope that each of our viewers will take an opportunity to go by each of our sponsors and express their thanks throughout.
There's a kick from Dearman. It's fielded by number 12. And he's met hard and finally brought down around the 33-yard line. That's Guyton on the carry. First down and 10 for Pickens County from the 33.
Joe, thus far it's been a high-scoring first quarter. 29 points have been posted on the board for both sides. West Blockton, of course, 22, and Pickens County 7.
David, I hear that blasted tomahawk chop again. This is 3 weeks in a row now. Last week at Delta's Fizz, we couldn't hardly hear each other. It's not so bad this week being back in home sweet home. There's a give up the middle. And he's brought down. I see Marchant, Ward, and Grady on the tackle.
Joe, if I might take a moment, I would say to all of our viewers that according to Alabama High School Athletic Association rules, we will not be able to enumerate our sponsors next week as we bring you coverage of the first round of the state playoffs.
There's the give to Guyton off the left side. And he's going to be, he breaks some tackles. Great pursuit by the Tiger defense. They just swarm him across the 40-yard line. The ball's blown dead at about the 43-yard line. That's probably enough for a first down. And it is. That'll move the chains for the Tornadoes. David, that was the same play that they scored on earlier in this quarter. Once again, number 21, Barnes, split to the near sideline. There's a sweep to Guyton to the left side. And he bounces off one Tiger and is driven out of bounds around the 47-yard line. Coach Yeager has a few words with some of his Tigers. David, I think this is one game that Coach Yeager really wants to get under his belt tonight. I know he's been kind of worried with a lot of people talking about next week that some of that would go to his players and they would look past his game. But so far in the game, they seem to be totally focused on the night. There's a give to Guyton up the middle, and he's met by that defensive line. I see number 70, Matthew Martin, just stood him up. That play failed to gain.
Joe, the clock winds down the first quarter of action. West Blockton 22, Pickens County 7. The first quarter again brought to you by McKinney's Record Service and Woodstock Drug Company.
1-6 for the Tornadoes to open up this second quarter of action. Cheeks goes in motion. There's the pitch, number 1 around the left side. He picks up some good blocks, and he's going to be driven out of bounds. But he gained enough for the first down. Lark on the carry. I see Coach Jaeger signaling for a Tiger timeout. We're going to take a timeout up here in the box as well. To go back to action, we're getting a shot of a cat burglar on the Tiger sideline over there. I think that's Todd Rooker in disguise. Just kind of shows you exactly how cold it is tonight. Barnes split to the left. Williams is your quarterback. He hands his number 1 to the left side. And once again, he's driven out of bounds, but he picked up enough for the first down. Good speed to the outside over there from DeMarco Lark, number 1. David, he didn't get the first down. It's just going to be second down in about an inch. Barnes split to the right. Elliott is the fullback. There's the give to Lark once again, this time to the right side. He's still on his feet, and he's finally going to be brought down around the 14-yard line. Good running from DeMarco Lark, David. That's his third consecutive first down run
that time
for the Tornadoes.
That time DeMarco Lark picked up 24 yards, advancing the Pickens County Tornadoes.
Elliott and Lark are in the backfield. Williams is the quarterback. Barnes split to the left sideline. Williams gets it to Lark around the left side. He's looking somewhere to go. He beats the original pursuit. And he got it down to around the 10, maybe the 11-yard line. The play gained about 4 yards. It'll be second down and 6 for the Tornadoes. There he is again, this time to the right side. He almost slips down, regained his footing, and brings the ball all the way to about the 6-yard line. This has quickly turned into the DeMarco Lark Show. Third down and 3 for Pickens County. The ball is on the 6 or the 7-yard line. There's a good to Lark, this time to the left side. He spins off tacklers. Fumble on the play, recovered by the West Blockton Tigers. The West Blockton Tigers come through in the clutch for us again, David. Never give up on them.
Never. Joel, it might be interesting to some of our folks that DeMarco Lark, whom we've been seeing much of from Pickens County tonight, is by way of eligibility a 10th grader. We'll be seeing more of DeMarco Lark in years to come.
First down and 10 for the Tigers. The ball is on about the 3-yard line. I think that's James Blake in at fullback on the carry. Excuse me, that's 15, Terry Dearman. Terry plowed forward and gained 2, maybe 3 yards. We'll call it 2nd down and 8 for the Tigers. The senior Shannon Blake is your quarterback. McElroy goes in motion to the right. They give to Dearman once again. Excuse me, that was Shannon Blake on the keeper. It's easy to lose him down there in that big wad of people.
Red sort of blends together.
That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4 situation for the Tigers. Big play here for the Tigers, deep in their own territory. Blake keeps around the right side. Excuse me, the left side. Blake breaks in the open. He's at the 20, all the way down to the 25-yard line. Good run by the senior Shannon Blake.
It's a 15-yard gain for 12 Shannon Blake, West Blockton senior quarterback.
Shannon picked up a key block from number 55, Jeff Brown, that time. Good execution by Jeff Brown and the rest of his offensive line. The ball is just across the 25-yard line, and we have flags on the play. Illegal procedure against the Tigers. They'll step it off, and it'll be 1st down and 15. Number 39, Claude Bates, split to the right. Davis and McElroy are at the wing. Terry Dearman is the fullback. McElroy goes in motion. Terry gained about 3 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd down and 12 for the Tigers. Pickens County has called for a timeout with 7 minutes and 48 seconds left. West Blockton leads 22-7. David, tell us who our 2nd quarter sponsors are once again.
We're appreciative of Jackie Klein and his crew at Green Pond Grocery and Milton Fulgham and his crew at the First State Bank of Bibb County for bringing you 2nd quarter action of West Blockton football.
Action, 2nd down and 12 for the Tigers. The ball is on the 24-yard line. Bates split to the right. Blake pulls it out, keeps around the right side. He's looking for somewhere to go. He gets to the corner, and he gets it all the way to the 40-yard line. Good run by Shannon Blake. That's enough for a Tiger 1st down.
7 minutes and 39 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. West Blockton continues its lead, 22-7 over Pickens County.
They would like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Shannon Blake has advanced the ball to another West Blockton 1st down.
We'd like to remind our viewers that we will have a special guest in the press box at halftime. So stick around. We got a surprise.
Boy, is it ever a surprise.
Blake drops back to pass. He's looking for number 39, Bates. It's picked off by number 10, Williams. He's looking for somewhere to run. He brings it up to the right side, and he's going to be brought down by number 10, James Davis, at about the 46-yard line. That's where Pickens County will have it, 1st down and 10.
West Blockton's first interception thrown on the night.
Barnes splits to the left. There's a good 12 off the left side. He's met by a host of Tigers. Guyton on the carry.
Guyton also is a 10th grader for Pickens County.
It's a good-sized 10th grader. Pickens County seems to be loaded with a lot of young talent, David. This could be a force to reckon with in years to come, and this game's not over. It could be a force to reckon with tonight. Williams is the quarterback. There's the pitch to Guyton. He's met by 63, Chris Parks. Spins off, still on his feet, still driving, and he's finally going to be brought down after a gain of about 7 yards.
We'll bring up 3rd down and 2. A long 2.
David Reggie's wanting to get out here and get some hot chocolate. Can you come over here and run the camera? Can you walk and chew bubble gum?
Not hardly. Tell Reggie he has a job to do.
Reggie, you got a job to do.
We'll let him dance every now and again.
I don't even know about that. 3rd down and 3 for Pickens County. Lark goes in motion. There's the pitch. He's met immediately by number 39, Claude Bates. Good defensive play by the senior. This is going to bring up 4th down and a punting situation for the Tornadoes of Pickens County. David, I think it's too cold to dance up here tonight.
Our little dance might keep us warmer. Hopefully we'll dance on into a West Blockton victory tonight as we anticipate that perfect regular season which we've been talking about and hoping for. We've seen number 20, Stephen McElroy, back deep to receive the Pickens County punt.
Good high kick. McElroy calls for the fair catch around the 16-yard line. That's where West Blockton will have it, 1st down and 10. David, last week I've heard a lot of comments about our behavior. To say the least, we kind of lost control there at the end of the game last week.
Speak for yourself.
Well, you didn't try to tie me down or anything, so it's partly your fault.
But it was an exciting game, and we'll give you that privilege.
There's to give to Ward. There's a fumble. I saw the ball pop loose. And Pickens County has recovered. Big turnover that time. Pickens County is going to take over, 1st down and 10, just inside the West Blockton 20-yard line. David, this Tornado team's just not going to quit in this first half. That's
right.
2 turnovers they came up with on the last 2 Blockton drives. Let's give around the left side. He's met by number 63, Chris Parks. Once again, that's DeMarco Lark on the carry. The play gains about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for Pickens County.
This clock continues to move, just over 3 minutes and a half left in the half. West Blockton continues its lead, 22-7, as Pickens County attempts to drive the ball in for a Tornado touchdown.
There's a sweep to Lark around the left side. He bobbles the ball around, and he falls on it around his own 22-yard line.
Joel, I have faith in our West Blockton Big Red defense and that they will prevent another Tornado touchdown in this half.
I hear you, David.
Well, with the likes of those people we have in that Big Red defense tonight, the chances are good that they will indeed stop a Tornado in progression.
Williams drops back to pass. He's looking downfield for number 21, Barnes. And it's off the fingertips of Barnes and then off the fingertips of number 12, Shannon Blake.
It's going to bring up 4th down and 12 for Pickens County.
David, I didn't see their kicker warming up, but I don't think we'll see a field goal attempt from here. The ball is on around the 22-yard line. They are going for it on 4th down and 12. This time Barnes is split to the right. Williams drops back to pass. He's being rushed. He gets the pass away, and it's thrown behind his receiver, number 21, Barnes. So the Tigers are going to take over 1st down and 10. David, now I can say you were so right.
I want to mention our second quarter sponsors once more. Jackie Klein of Green Pond Grocery and his crew are bringing you part of the second quarter action, and Milton Fulgham and the good and faithful crew of the First State Bank of Bibb County also contributing to the calls, bringing second quarter action of tonight's game.
Blake Hughes around the left side. He gets the pitch to number 10, Davis. James falls on the ball around the 19-yard line. Blake was hit as soon as he released the football. Good defensive play that time by the Tornadoes. 2nd down and 12 for West Blockton. Two tight ends, two wings. Cornelius Ward is the fullback. Blake rolls to his right, and he's met in the backfield immediately. Number 64, Jonathan Bowler, and by number 75, Joe Guy. That play also lost yardage. 3rd down and 18 for the Tigers. The seniors, John Holt split to the right, Claude Bates to the left. Their classmate Shannon Blake is at quarterback, and Spunky Ward is at fullback. There's a get of Spunky. He busted the line. He's still on his feet. He's got his 1st down, and he's going to be driven out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line. Good determined run by the senior fullback and linebacker Cornelius Ward.
Well, of course, that 1st down is going to stop the clock at just over a minute to play in this half. That's a 19-yard pickup for Cornelius Ward.
Dave, we hate to keep bringing up last week's game, but that run by Cornelius Ward at the end of that game is going to be one that these Tiger fans won't soon forget.
You are so right, Joel.
Blake rolls to his left. He picks up a good block. He gets it outside. He's across midfield, and he's driven out of bounds around the 47-yard line. Good run by his number 12, Shannon Blake, before he was driven out of bounds by number 21, Barnes, for the Tornadoes. That moves the chains once again for the Tigers, and they have a chance to put some more points on the board before this 1st half is up.
Shannon Blake picked up 15 yards on that carry.
The ball is on about the 48-yard line, 1st down and 10, with just under a minute remaining in the 1st half. Two tight ends, two wings again for the Tigers. McElroy goes in motion. He gets the pitch to McElroy, and Stevens slides down around the 47-yard line. Stevens just lost his footing as he was trying to cut back. So it'll be 2nd down and about 13 for the Tigers. And West Blockton calls a timeout with 49 seconds left.
I want to mention once again, we're trying to do extra mention of our sponsors tonight, as this will be the last time that we are able to mention their names for this season. Again, we thank the Green Pond Grocery crew and the First State Bank of Bibb County for bringing you this second quarter action, as we thank McKinney Record Service and Woodstock Drug Company for bringing you first quarter action.
2nd down and 14 for the Tigers. The ball is around the 47-yard line. John Holt split to the left. Cornelius Ward is the lone setback. James Davis comes in motion left. Blake drops back to pass. He's looking for McElroy. Good catch by number 20, Stephen McElroy, around the 37-yard line. Good dive and catch from the senior, number 20.
West Blockton is signaling for a timeout.
Took the words out of my mouth, David. Down in 4 for West Blockton. The ball is around the 37-yard line. John Holt split to the near sideline. McElroy and Davis are at the wing. Davis comes in motion to the left. There's to get a Spunky. Spunky gained a couple on forward progress. West Blockton's hurrying to get to the line of scrimmage. Clock's got 24 seconds on it. Good job of getting back in line by the Tigers. That's a well-drilled offensive unit right there, David. John Holt moves to the right tight end. Just under 10 seconds now left in this first half. Blake drops back to pass. He's being rushed. He gets the pass away, and it's incomplete as time runs out. West Blockton leads in the first half, 22-7 over Pickens County.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the field for your halftime entertainment, we proudly present the West Blockton High School Fighting Tiger Band. Our band is under the direction of Mr. Clarence Connor, under the field direction of Drum Major Amy Clevenger, Majorette Captain Amy Frederick, and the Tigerette Captain Joanna Vincent. Drum Major, the field is yours.
band presents this last regular season games homecoming activities, halftime activities, we would like to remind you that our halftime sponsors throughout the year have been Step and Style Beauty Salon, Main Street, West Flockton, Nelson Heating and Cooling, Highway 5 in Woodstock, and Woodstock Trucking. These fine sponsors have sponsored this half for the entire football season, and we appreciate their support of our band and the young people here at the school. Once again, our halftime sponsors, Step and Style Beauty Salon, Nelson Heating and Cooling, and Woodstock Trucking. Halftime brought to you by Nelson Heating and Cooling, Step and Style Beauty Salon, and Woodstock Trucking. The Tigerettes would like to take this opportunity to wish their sponsor, Mrs. Connor, a happy birthday. Once again, we appreciate these businesses sponsoring our halftime program: Woodstock Trucking, Step and Style Beauty Salon, and Nelson Heating and Cooling.
Stats. The score is 22-7. The Tigers lead the Tornadoes of Pickens County. West Blockton also leads in the area of first downs. They have 7 to Pickens County's 5. The Tigers have fumbled twice and lost only 1. Pickens County has fumbled twice and lost only 1 as well. Penalties: the Tigers have 1 penalty for 5 yards, the same for Pickens County. The Tigers have yet to punt the ball tonight. Pickens County has punted twice for an average of 30 yards. West Blockton has rushed for 154 yards. Pickens County rushed for 131. In the passing department, West Blockton with 89 yards passing in the first half. That's probably the highlight of the first half so far. That the first touchdown of the game came on a 65-yard pass play from Blake to James Davis. And this is a Tiger team that hadn't passed too much so far this season, but it's kind of turning around tonight. Pickens County has not completed a pass. Total offensive yards for the Tigers, 243. And for the Tornadoes of Pickens County, 131. West Blockton attempted 4 passes and completed 2 of them with just 1 interception. Pickens County has tried 4 passes and has not completed any and has lost 1 to an interception.
Joined in the press box with our special guest tonight, Coach Jack Hicks, who was on that 1956 undefeated West Blockton team, which was also a state championship team for West Blockton. Coach, how does it feel to be here tonight witnessing what appears to be a potential next undefeated season for West Blockton?
Well, being from West Blockton myself, you know, I'm very proud of the team and always pull for them and glad to see them win. And especially knowing those boys makes it a special feeling, knowing Coach Yeager and all the players. And it makes it more of a closer, you know, special feeling being associated. And I definitely think they deserve it. They've worked hard. I know they've worked for the last, Coach Yeager was over here the day before Christmas working on the weight room so they could be ready and not miss any time. And, you know, it's always nice to see somebody work hard to come out on top, and they have worked hard.
Well, Coach, we realize that this game is only half over, but I want to ask you to make a comparison of your team to this year's team.
Well, that's something that's hard to do because there's so many things that changed. Back when we were playing football, we never worked with weights. All we did was mostly was exercise and run. But nowadays they work with weights every day of the year almost, even during the season. But the players are stronger probably from weights, and they're probably quicker today than they were back then, and I'm sure they are. But back then, what we did was run. We just run every day. We had a real tough, hard-nosed coach, and Coach Higginbottom, and we'd practice long hours, and we worked every day like they do now, but we did different. You know, we run more than we did in working with weights.
Coach, what's some qualities that are in this 92 West Blockton team that were also evident in that 1956 team that you played on?
Well, I think they got some outstanding athletes, you know, and we had some outstanding athletes on our team. But I know they got some outstanding athletes. They got Ward is one of the best backs I've seen this year, and you know he can rate up there with a lot of them. Then they got Terry Dearman and Shannon Blake, and of course you try to mention all of them. You know it's hard to mention, but they have at least 6 good athletes, and you know I'm talking about above average. And these boys were good when they were in the 9th grade. They had a real good junior high team, and they've worked together, and they've built a strong unity there, and they're a close team. I think you have to give Coach Yeager a lot of credit for that. He's really got them together, you know, as a close unit, and I think we were the same way.
We're going to break away just for a minute for the kick. Back deep to receive is number 22, Robert Snelson. James Davis receives the kick at the 15-yard line. He brings it upfield, and he's going to be brought down around the 37-yard line. That's where the Tigers will start this second half, first down and 10.
Sure, while we have Coach Hicks, we might mention that Coach Hicks served a tenure at West Blockton as the head coach at West Blockton and remains on the faculty at West Blockton. Morris Moody, also on that championship team, is the principal of West Blockton High School. Coach, you had several of your teammates who made it to the University of Alabama on scholarships, and we'll talk about that in just a moment.
Number 32, John Holt, splits to the left. Blake is the quarterback. Davis comes in motion to the left. There's to get a Spunky. He breaks in the clear. He's across midfield and brought down around the 48-yard line. Good run by the fullback, Cornelius Ward.
Coach, who made it to Division I college play after playing at West Blockton?
Well, we had Walter Sansing, Tommy White, Roy Holstenback, and David Hicks. They all won a scholarship at the University of Alabama, and that's probably as many players as ever won off of one team.
Indeed, there were several outstanding players on that 56 team, but indeed it takes a team, a family, to make an entire unit.
There's the pitch to McElroy. He bobs it around, gets control of it, and he's going to lose about 2 yards on that play It'll bring up 2nd down and 12 for the Tigers. Coach, you mentioned about Coach Higginbotham. Do you see we talked about the qualities that are similar in the two teams. What about these two coaches, between Coach Jaeger and Coach Higginbotham? Do you see some of the qualities?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of resemblance there and a lot of quality. I think that Coach Higginbotham and Coach Jaeger had a lot of the same philosophy. They both believe in hard work and they both believe in doing it right.
2nd down and 12 for the Tigers. Davis and McElroy at the wing. Ward is the lone setback. Blake on the keeper. He gets it outside and hook slides around the 37-yard line. Good run by the senior Shannon Blake once again.
Coach, a moment ago I mentioned the effort of teamwork on your team. I know that is an element to the success of this year's team. Would you not agree that teamwork played an effective role in the success of the 56 team?
Well, I think that any time you work hard as a team, whether you go undefeated or whatever you win, I think you become close-knit family. And this is something I told Coach Jaeger the other day. This is something that don't many people ever have the opportunity to do, And you think of the number of teams that's not schools that's not ever had an undefeated team. There's a lot of schools that's never went undefeated in the state.
The Tigers are facing a 3rd down and less than a yard situation here. Two tight ends, two wings. Ward is the fullback. Davis comes in motion. Blake on the keeper. He pitches it to Davis. He bobs it around. Fumble. And it's recovered by Pickens County around the 47-yard line. That's where they'll have it 1st down and 10. Coach East, if things continue right now and West Blockton goes on to win this game and do match the accomplishment that your team matched in 56, let's just have a little fun right now. How long do you think it'll be? Do you think it'll be another 35 years before we see another one, or do you think we're establishing a good program here where it could be in the next few years?
Well, you never know those questions. It's hard to tell.
There's a give, and he's met immediately by number 63, the senior linebacker, Chris Parks. Good job by that senior right there. This is also his last regular season home game.
Well, as we've mentioned before, we've seen the red come out in Chris Parks' eyes. Excuse me, particularly in second half action for West Blockton. That's more evidence of the same.
2nd down and 14 for the Tornadoes. Barnes split to the right. Williams rolls to his left. He's being rushed. He's going to be slung down by number 22, Robert Snelson, and number 51, Michael Summerlin. Another great defensive play by the Tigers, David.
Well, this big red defense is alive and well as they continue to push the Pickens County team back deep in their own territory.
Coach, you know that football's a big part of this town's tradition, and Friday nights are a very special time around here. Was football this big of a phenomena when you played?
Football's always been like it is now. It's always been number one around here. One of the biggest events, football game in West Blockton.
3rd down and 20 for the Tornadoes. He's being rushed. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's rolling to his right. And he's going to be hauled down by number 32, John Holt. Great defensive pursuit that time by the Tigers. Coach, if we could ask you to think back to your playing days or your days as coaching, what would be your most memorable game?
Well, it's hard to say. I've also was associated with some undefeated teams at Alabama. I was the manager there for 2 years and went undefeated. And in high school, we had 2 other undefeated teams in the 9th grade, and when we was in the 11th grade, we were undefeated too, and in the 12th grade. So we had 3 undefeated teams there, and we were very lucky. Very lucky.
4th down and 20 situation for Pickens County. Back deep to receive this punt is number 20, McElroy. It's a low kick. It's going to be fumbled by McElroy. Picked up by Barnes for Pickens County. And he's going to be slung out of bounds around the 9-yard line by number 35, Cornelius Ward. Coach, we'd like to thank you for stopping by and talking to us for a while. Who knows, the next 35 years we may be interviewing one of these seniors that are out here.
Well, one thing I'd like to say, though, before I go about Coach Yeager, is I don't think he's a better coach in the state of Alabama, and I think these boys are lucky, and I think the town of West Flotsam ought to be happy, and I think that he's one of the best, if not the best coach in the state of Alabama. I mean, I really mean that. As far as high school coaching, there's no more dedication and loyalty anywhere I've ever been than what he shows. And like I said, the day before Christmas, he was out here working on the weight room. And people, you know, that's unusual, very unusual. But he's a very, very outstanding person, and he's a good Christian man. His wife, he has an outstanding wife and 2 kids, and I think we ought to be proud of him at West Flotsam. And I think if he stays here, we'll have another undefeated team.
Coach Hughes, I think everybody's in 100% agreement with you on those last statements. And we do thank you for stopping by.
Well, I appreciate having this opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Jack Hicks there, a very big part of that last undefeated team here at West Blockton, and he continues to be a big part of this school as he still serves at West Blockton High School as a teacher.
Well, we do appreciate Coach Hicks for his time with us, and I appreciate Coach Hicks as a good friend of mine. And he continues to, as Joel says, play a significant role in the life of West Blockton High School.
Williams rolls to his left. He's looking downfield for a receiver, and he overthrows number 34, Jamie Elliott. David, if some of our viewers are wondering what happened, you can't advance the fumble punt, so that the play was called back, and Pickens County took over where they recovered the fumble. And now they're faced with a 3rd down and 9 situation. David, it was good to talk with Coach Hicks for a little while. I know Coach Hicks is a good friend of mine. I know that you were especially close to Coach Hicks.
Well, indeed I was, and I treasure the friendships that I had made since coming to West Blockton, particularly those like that of Coach Hicks.
Barnes splits to the left. Williams is the quarterback. Elliott goes in motion to the left. There's the pitch to Lark, and he's going to be hauled down by number 32. He breaks the tackle, but John Holt grabs a hold of him again and finally brings him down. Back around the 48-yard line. Another great job pursuing by John Holt. John Holt seems to be on fire so far in this half, David.
Well, there aren't many games, Joe, when John Holt isn't on fire.
You're so right, David. I like old John Holt. I love all those guys right there. And last year when I played was John's first year to play. And John's had a great attitude about learning and about working since day one.
Indeed he has, and I say to you, you're so right, Joel.
There's the punt. It's a long punt. It's going to take a Pickens County bounce and roll dead around the 11-yard line. That's where the Tigers will take over, 1st down and 10. Down and 10 for West Blockton. The ball is on the 11-yard line. With 5 minutes and 19 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, West Blockton holds on to their 22-7 lead. Shannon Blake is the quarterback. Davis goes in motion to the left, and there's to give to Spunky. Cornelius is stacked up. He may have gained a yard. We'll call it 2nd down and 9 for the Tigers.
Joe, before this 3rd quarter ends with just under 5 minutes left, I want to mention especially, again, Jack's Discount Pharmacy, Jack Miller and his crew, Curtis and Margie Bush and their crew at Bush's Tiger Hut, both located on Main Street in West Blockton. Thank you for bringing action from this 3rd quarter and throughout the season.
Blake drops back to pass. He's looking for number 22, Robert Snells, and this is batted away by number 21, Barnes. There's a flag on the play. David, we just have a numerous amount of people that that we'd like to thank. We don't have enough time to really call everybody's names. You'd have to go down the West Blockton, Woodstock, Green Pond phone book and thank everybody that supported just this staff up here this year. We've mentioned that earlier in the year, but we can't thank these people enough.
We appreciate especially Rodney Cornigan and Reggie Nichols, who had been our cameraman, Lane Collins, who's been our statistician, Sam Morris, Jerry Dearman, and Jason Crocker, who have alternated as spotters throughout the season. I'm sure there are others.
Blake pulls it and keeps it around the left side. And he's going to be hauled down around the 18-yard line by number 6, Cheeks.
It's going to bring up a 4th down situation for West Blockton, Joel.
We already called out the list of names of people that have prepared meals and worked in the concession stand. If there's a viewer that is sitting back thinking, well, I could help out in some fashion if I was just asked around the school or working with this program, let me encourage you to get involved. There's a job for everybody. Good punt from Jeremy. It bounces across midfield, and it will bounce out of bounds around the 48-yard line. 43-yard punt that time from Dearman. Pickens County will have it 1st down and 10 from their own 48-yard line. David, if there's a lot of jobs to be done around here, and we have so many Tiger fans that are faithful, and we'd like to encourage those that are kind of interested in getting in and joining up with these people that are helping out. Talk to Coach Jaeger, talk to Mr. Connor, Miss Jones, Mr. Moody, and find out what you could help out with doing around here.
Well, you're right, Joe. There is a place for you if you are interested in being a part of this magnificent program at West Blockton High School.
Nothing else, they could carry our camera in and out, couldn't they, David? There's a good number 34 up the middle. That's James Elliott on the carry. He's brought down by number 63, Parks, and number 35, Cornelius Ward.
Joe, we should also mention that filming the first game of the season, the Oak Grove game, was Buddy Vaughn. We appreciate Buddy for filming that first game, his final game of the season. We appreciate Rodney Cornigan and Reggie Nichols stepping in.
Yeah, it's been kind of a learning process, I think, for everybody, David. There's a good lock around the left side, and he's going to be brought down. I see number 64, Jason Grady. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 situation for the Tornadoes. David, we'd like to mention that after this game is over, we're going to try to rush down the field house and get some post-game comments if this game turns out the way we want it to. Williams rolling out the pass. He's rolling to his right. He's got it's in and out of the hands of number 34, James Elliott. That'll bring up a 4th down and punting situation for the Tornadoes. We'd also like to thank the cable network and Mr. David Daniels. They've been super nice to us this year, especially Mr. Daniels. He's done a lot to help us out, and we really appreciate the way that they've worked with us this year. Another good punt from Cheeks. McElroy calls for the fair catch at the 15-yard line. That's where West Blockton will take over, 1st down and 10.
Once again, bringing you third quarter action, Jack's Discount Pharmacy and Bush's Tiger Hut in West Blockton. We appreciate these, our sponsors, for this third quarter action.
1st down and 10 for West Blockton at the 15-yard line. There's to give to Davis on the reverse. He breaks one tackle. He's in the clear. He's across the 40, the 50, and he's going to be hauled down around the 44-yard line. Good run by the sophomore, number 10, James Davis. He picked up some good blocking on that left side of the line, David. The hole really opened up.
Good blocking allowed James Davis to pick up 43 yards on that carry. Joel?
David, we'd like to call your attention to the sidelines. Rachel Snyder, who was our sideline nurse for I don't know how many years, has not been with us this year. She was given a new position at her job, but tonight she's on the sidelines battling this cold weather, and it's good to see Miss Snyder down there with the team again. Blake on the keeper, he pitches it to Snelson. He breaks a tackle. He gets to the outside, and Snelson's going to be hauled out of bounds just shy of a first down.
Folks, if I might take a moment of personal privilege as we enumerate our messages of gratitude for this season, I am particularly grateful to Joel Frederick, who has taken on a lot of extra responsibilities in bringing you this Tiger TV network broadcast. I have been doing this sort of long distance from Livingston, Alabama, where I'm in school, and Joel has taken a lot of the responsibilities which we should have shared over the season. I appreciate Joel's help and dedication to the program.
That play's blown dead, David. I thank you for that, but it wouldn't be done if it wasn't for a lot of other people that have been working hard. But I think everybody can understand about you being at Livingston all the time, and you put forth a lot of effort and just getting back and forth from school to here and to wherever we're playing on Friday nights. And I thank you as well. It's been a lot of fun in this regular season, and I hope we're looking at about 5 more games.
Hopefully so, and maybe even a shaved head at the end.
David, you're going to look funny with a shaved head. James Davis on the left side. He picks up a good block. James going to be hauled down around the 26-yard line. That's enough for a Tiger first down. David, I don't believe you're going to look any funnier than I do. But there's another guy that's going to shave his head if we win the state championship, and that's Coach Chris Yeager.
He's going to look funniest of all.
I think you're right, David. I was about to say the same thing. And Coach Yeager would probably agree with us.
Joel, I want to say at this point that it's been no real effort in getting me back to see West Blockton compete on a weekly basis. This team is very close to my heart, as last year's team was, and I counted a privilege to see them in action each week.
Blake on the keeper. Good run by Shannon Blake. Shannon fought through some defenders and brought the ball all the way up to about the 17-yard line. Second down, and we'll call it 1 for the Tigers. We have about 35 seconds left in this third quarter. West Blockton still leads 22-7. There's to get a steps around the right side. He picks up a good block. He's trying to get to the outside, and he's going to be slung out of bounds hard by number 1, DeMarco Lark. He got enough for his first down. That'll move the chains for the Tigers.
It's a 6-yard carry. As Joel has said, good enough for the West Blockton first down. Joel, I thought for a moment as we were listing our messages of Thanksgiving that we might forget that there was a game on the field.
You can't forget about that, David.
And this game is far from over.
This is still a very close game. This has been a seesaw battle in the third quarter. And Tigers really need to put some points on the board on this drive. There's to give to Spunky. Spunky drives forward and gained about 3, maybe 4 yards. We'll call it second down and 7 for the Tigers.
Well, as the third quarter winds down, we remind you that Jack's Discount Pharmacy and the Bush's Tiger Hut on Main Street in West Blockton have brought you this third quarter action and have brought you action throughout this season. The score as the fourth period begins, West Blockton 22, Pickens County 7. The game has been interesting in that all the points that have been scored in this game have been scored in the first quarter.
Very interesting point, David. Second down and 7 for the Tigers inside the 10-yard line. Blake gets a pitch to Robert Snelson. And Robert's going to be dropped around the 6-yard line. That'll bring up third down for the Tigers. David, we've had a good time this year broadcasting these games. I've enjoyed working with you up here in the press box, and we have a lot of fun together. And I think our viewers probably know that by now. On the plate. Oh, good pitch by Blake. Somehow Shannon got that pitch away, David. I don't know how he did it. That play lost yardage. It's going to be fourth down and about 9 for the Tigers. The ball is on the 11-yard line. Ten minutes and 40 seconds left in this ball game. John Holt split to the left. Cornelius Ward is the fullback. James Davis goes in motion to the left. Blake's dropping back to pass. He's being rushed. And he's going to be dropped back around the 23-yard line. So Pickens County is going to take over. First down and 10 from the 11-yard line. David, this game seems kind of boring in comparison to the game we experienced last week. But if we hold on to this lead right now, we'll get this camera in the field house for some post-game comments, and I can tell you it's not going to be boring down there. But the key thing is holding on this lead. We're only up by 15, and Pickens County has plenty of time to work with. To give up the middle to Guyton. Guyton got about 3 yards. I think I'll mark it closer to 2. We'll call it second down and 8 for the Tornadoes.
Joel, I don't want to be a skeptic, but you're right in that this game is far from over, and Pickens County has been relentless in their comebacks this game.
David, the fat lady hadn't even got to the press box yet. I don't think she's at the game yet. Williams is rolling to his right. He's looking for a man, and he throws it away. His intended receiver was number 88, Bob Tipton. I'm being told by our statistician that Pickens County has only 8 yards in total offense so far in this second half. This Tiger defense is really stiffening up, but on the other side of the ball there, the Tornado defense is also waking up. Barnes splits to the left. Elliott and Guyton are in the backfield. There's a sweep to Guyton to the left side. He's going to be brought down by number 35, Cornelius Ward, and his classmate, number 15, Terry Dearman. It's going to be fourth down and about 5 for Pickens County. Another punting situation for the Tornadoes. Back deep to receive this punt. Number 20, the senior, Stephen McElroy. Bruce Lowe to punt it away. Another good kick. It's going to take a Pickens County bounce, and Stephen's going to let it roll dead around the 44-yard line. That's where West Blockton's going to take over. First down and 10. First down and 10 for the Tigers, just shy of the 45-yard line. There's the pitch to Davis. Davis still on his feet. He breaks another tackle and brings it across midfield all the way down to the 44-yard line. That's enough to give the Tigers a new set of downs. And there's a player down for the Tigers. Number 10, James Davis. Hopefully that's not too severe. They're working on like it could be cramps. I don't think he ate those bananas Miss Smith brought to Pizza Hut last night. Excuse me.
Joel, as I was saying, as I was told I had been cut off, an important facet of this season has been the fact of our sponsors. Warner Turf in South Alabama is bringing fourth quarter action. Warner Turf has a personal interest in this West Blockton team, and that assistant coach who is volunteering his services this year to be with this team another year and to assist Coach Yeager, Jason Warner, is the nephew of the owner of Warner Turf. Warner Turf can be reached by a toll-free number, 1-800-541-6483 for all your landscaping and sodding needs.
David, as our viewers saw, James Davis was able to come off the field under his own power. He was just experiencing some cramps. First down and 10 for the Tigers. The ball is on the 44-yard line. McElroy in the game in place of Davis. Blake pulls right, keeps around the left side. There's a flag down. There's the pitch to Snelson. He's going to be flung hard out of bounds into the water tray. Robert's a little slow getting up, but he hops on up and tries to run back on the field, but he started to limp.
Joe, I don't know if you saw that, but Donnie Dearman, one of our West Blockton managers, took a hit on that stop. Donnie's tough and picked himself right on up.
Give Donnie about 4 or 5 years. Don be throwing some hits out here of his own. He's grown up watching his brothers Jerry and Terry knock some heads out here in the Kudzu Kingdom, and I got a feeling Donnie Dearman's day is coming too.
Well, no disrespect to either Jerry or Terry, but I think knowing Donnie as I do, that Donnie might be the top athlete of the three. I'm looking forward to seeing him come into play.
Blake keeps around the left side, and it's going to be fumbled out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Good defensive play by the Tornadoes. They would like to draw attention to the rest of our managers. We mentioned Donnie Dearman. There's some more of those guys out there that we may be calling their name here in just a few years. Bryant Frederick, my little brother, kind of partial to that manager.
Sure, and the Rookers 3.
Brad, Craig, and Todd.
Jonathan Reach.
Those managers play a big part in keeping this Tiger team going. They have a lot of responsibilities, and they do a good job. Blake keeps it around the left side. He pitches it to Pringle. And I believe Pickens County has recovered, and they did. First down and 10 for Pickens County, just inside West Blockton territory. First down and 10 for Pickens County. The ball is just across midfield in Tiger territory. Barnes is split to the left. There's the give to Milton. He's going nowhere. Oh, Chris Parks threw that ball away, but I think the officials are going to say he was down, or they blew the whistle. Second down and 11 for the Tornadoes. David, we've been seeing Chris Parks run the ball quite frequently for the Tigers. He's good at picking up those fumbles and taking off with them. This time Barnes is split to the right. Williams is rolling out. He's looking for a receiver. It's picked off by number 10, James Davis. James gets it outside. He's looking for a block. He needs one block and he could go. He's going to be knocked out of bounds. around the 15-yard line. Good play by the sophomore, number 10, James Davis. He just came back to action for the Tigers after experiencing some leg cramps and immediately made something happen for the West Blockton Tigers. First down and 10 for WBHS at the 14-yard line. With 5 minutes and 52 seconds left, West Blockton still clinging to their 22-7 lead.
Once again, Warner Tersh bringing you fourth quarter action.
West Blockton's using the huddle a little bit this fourth quarter, David. Seniors Claude Bates split to the left, John Holt to the right. Snelson McElroy at the wing, Cornelius Ward's the lone setback. There's to give to Spunk. He's looking for somewhere to go. Spunky gained about 2, maybe 3 yards. Second down and 8 for the Tigers. Two tights and two wings for the Tigers. There's to get to McElroy around the left side. Steven picks up some good blocks. Steven's all the way down to about the 4-yard line. Good run by the senior, number 20, Stephen McElroy. David Stevens, one of those players that we've called his name a lot this year. And as we've mentioned many times, this is just Stevens' first year to play, but this is now already his last regular season home game. My, how time flies.
Well, that's right, Joel. Seems like we ought to be closer to the Oak Grove game than we are, as we've moved along through these 10 games, preparing next week to bring you the first round of the state playoffs from the Kudzu Kingdom.
Third down and a little less than a yard, just a few inches really, David, for the Tigers. The ball is on the 4-yard line. You can hear the chants of this crowd. Blake on the keeper, he pitches it to number 22, and he's tripped up and knocked down at the 5-yard line. Good defensive play that time by Pickens County. And this is going to bring up a fourth down situation for the Tigers. Big play coming up here, David. We need some more points on the board to assure ourselves of a victory tonight. The Tigers are going to go for it. They're back in their huddle. They come out the line with two tight ends and two wings. They need about 1.5 yards now for a first down. There's to get a Spunky. He got his 1.5 yards and he got a touchdown. West Blockton Tigers, Cornelius Ward on another touchdown run for the night. Good job again by that offensive line. Somehow the Tigers can always do it in the clutch situations, David. I believe that's Cornelius' second touchdown of the night. This is only the second game this year that Spunky has been held to under 100 yards. Right now, Spunky has 59 yards rushing.
Folks, we're getting ready to see West Blockton attempt a two-point conversion.
Same look from the Tigers. There's a reverse to Davis around the left side. He's looking for somewhere to go. He's still struggling, but he won't make it.
With 3 minutes and 57 seconds left in the game, West Blockton 28, Pickens County 7.
Once again, the kick for the Tigers. Number 15, Terry Dearman. He'll be kicking to number 21, Barnes, for the Tornadoes. Ball's going to be fielded. It is fumbled again. Picked up, and he's met hard. 65, Chad Wright, the sophomore, along with number 55, Jeff Brown, the senior. They're on the stop for the Tigers. Pickens County has a man that's slow getting up. That's number 88, Bob Tipton. He's up and hobbling around. David, here comes the Tigers theme song. I the Tiger. And the cheerleaders are coming around with a sign, 10-0 state bound. David, it's an honor for us to be up here calling this game tonight. This is history right here. It's been 36 years, 36 long years. Me and you wasn't even thought of then.
After this play.
And you can hear this crowd reacting to that sign.
And the statistician is dancing in the press box.
Williams under center. And he's going to be hauled down in the backfield by number 63, the senior linebacker, Chris Parks. That play lost about 4 yards. We'll call it 2nd down and 14 for the Tornadoes. Barnes split to the right. Williams is way under center. I think there's a foul on the play. I think Williams may have fallen on it. And he lost another 2 or 3 yards on that play. Pickens County looks at 3rd down and very, very long for a 1st down. Third down and 17 for Pickens County. Once again, Barnes split to the right. Williams looking to pass. It's off the fingertips of his intended receiver, number 21, Anthony Barnes. David, I think you can probably hear the cheerleaders chanting WBHS. We are the best, and without a doubt, West Blockton has been the best this season.
You are so right, Joel.
With the record of right now 9-0, and it looks like we're headed for 10-0. Would like to tell our viewers that we will be playing the first state playoff game here next week. Good news for everybody, except that opposing team. I don't think it's good news for any team that has to come play in the Kingdom, David. But we encourage everybody to come out. That's a very important game right there. And it looks like we may be playing in Elmore County. I'm not sure if that's definite yet or not. But regardless of who it is, you need to be here. Need to be supporting these Tigers. They're looking the best that they have. And they're heading in strong to these playoffs. West Blockton has called a timeout with 1 minute and 56 seconds left. They continue to lead the Tornadoes of Pickens County 28-7.
Folks, I wish you could have seen it. Joel Frederick and Reggie Nichols go up to their old tricks, dancing in the press box.
There's going to be some dancing going on in this game. 6 down to 0. Look at that defense swarm. 8 red jerseys around the ball that time. Number 1, DeMarco Lark on the carry. Good pursuit again by the Tigers. First down and 10 for the Tigers. The ball is on about the 33-yard line. We'd like to remind you to stay with us. We're going to get some post-game comments in the field house directly after the game. There's a get of Davis on the reverse to the left side, and he's going to be stacked up. That play failed to gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Joe, while we have a moment, I want to once again mention our sponsors for this season. And again, with a note of appreciation. McKinney's Record Service, Woodstock Drug Company, Green Pond Grocery, First State Bank of Bibb County, Jack's Discount Pharmacy, Bush's Tiger Hut, and Warner Turf. These people and agencies have been responsible for bringing you this action.
Blake on the keeper, and he dives forward to about the 24-yard line. David, we have 10 seconds left. What do you say we sing it? We haven't sung it in a while. Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. And as you can hear it, we just saw history in the making. West Blockton Tigers are now 10-0, undefeated in this regular season. Next week they face the first round of the state playoffs here in the Kudzu Kingdom. Come out and support the Tigers. We're going to run down the field house. Got it.
Father, we come to you and we thank you for the season that we've had and ask you to bless for the season that we have coming up. In the name of Jesus, I pray.
Amen.
Well, fellas, one thing that tonight our teaching, two things. One is, you people that are down the line, man, you got to be prepared. You know, thinking that you're only going to play when it's a blowout, somebody can get hurt here, okay? You need to, you know, that's one thing. People that are down the line, fellas, we got to have help. We have not had a good week out of our people down the line. We got to have it. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is, fellas, we cannot, from week to week to week, we can't sit back and wait for things to happen. Fellas, we have got to pour it on. If we're going to be a contender, fellas, we've got some ground to make up. We don't have much time to make it up. Okay. All right, now look, that's the direction that we've got to go. Okay, now tomorrow won't be any film. I've got to go to Montgomery. All right, but I'll tell you something, fellas. 36 years. You're 10-0, 5 more to go. Man, congratulations. A chance to have 11 in a row. That ain't never been done, I don't believe. I don't believe it's been 11 in a season, maybe. Correct. One season. Because see, back when we won it that year in '56, it wasn't a playoff system. You won it at the end of the year. It was voted on by people across the state. And so it wasn't a playoff on this year, so you got a chance to set a new record. You've tied an old one, and you got a chance to set a new one. I believe you'll do it. Keep working. That's all you can do.
Yeah. Pickens County area counts too.
Y'all break it down. 10-0, fellas, 5 to go.